It's okay if you aren't ready for kids right now. It's okay if you don't want to be a mom now or even ever. It's nobody's decision but yours. But do you know what's not okay? Not knowing how effective your birth control is. Talk to your doctor about effective birth control options so you can make an informed decision. Tap to learn more.
The legends are true.
Overwhelming power!
The sauce of destiny.
Yes! The most legendary sauce has arrived as McDonald's transforms into the anime world of WickDonald's. The greatest flavors unite in all new savory chili McDonald's sauce to make your 10-piece Wick Nuggets, fries, and Sprite ultra-powerful. Unlock manga comics with every meal and sit down for a new anime short every week only at WickDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, go!
At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last.
I would like to talk to you about an angry little man, and he made me sad. Go sit on a tack. Signed, Jess Right again.
And now, Cheese Wits.
Jess, give me a half a minute here.
Okay.
I gotta use the bathroom.
Christopher Roth, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw your face for a second.
Yeah, that's because I took my foot off the fucking gas, and now I'm driving again. Why are we looking at Wally's ceiling? It looks like he's like in an industrial bathroom or something.
We are in fact waiting for him to pee.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, all right. Well, that's good.
The little downstairs bathroom. See?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
You didn't have to take us in with you though. That's fine.
No, I did not take you in with me. Good God. All right, I have to get a
y'all.
I gotta get a beverage. I'm sorry, I'm just walking in, you guys. I'm sorry. All right, I'll just get a drink later. Okay, I'll get
That's okay. I'm going through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, so fuck all y'all.
Well, I just got home because I had to pick up Daphne from school, and then we had to go to Walmart because today is Jody's birthday. So Daphne wanted to get a card.
Happy birthday, Jody.
I know it, right? Christ.
That's right. You got to be off the call on time to have your birthday dinner or something like that, don't you?
Nah, I'm all right. I don't give a shit.
All right, well, good. Well, we don't give a fuck either, Wally.
Oh, look at all this crap. I had Cheyenne come up and wake up my computer so I could be ready to go. All right, let me see if I can make the switch over here.
How'd that work for you?
I'm going to join an ongoing tap to join. Am I there? I think so.
I still only see you. Well, wait.
Coming.
There you are.
Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to my room.
No. No.
That's all I ever hear. No.
Yeah, well.
No. Okay.
Why is everybody so quiet now?
Let me start the recorder.
He's recording too. Wow. I have a thing.
What do you mean you have a thing?
It's a long thing. No, if it was
Not
that thing,
what I
it wouldn't
heard.
be a long thing. That's for sure.
Lie.
Wow, you're a bitch. Woman just sped through the drive-through line. There's like a second lane next to me, and she just like blew through it. So I'm finally biting the bullet and going to a gastro doctor. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, really?
I was up in Connecticut this weekend for a bowling tournament. We went up on Friday. And when you go to the Northeast, you go to Connecticut, New Haven area, what are you going to do? You can eat pizza, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So we went to the world famous Tony's in Willimantic and had pepperoni, and I had 2 slices, and I said, something's not right. And I started in the 3rd slice, and I felt it coming up. I'm like, God damn it, what the fuck? And yeah, I started yakking all night long Saturday.
Really?
And had to bowl in this tournament on Saturday, 6 games Saturday, 6 games Sunday. I bowled the worst I've ever bowled on Saturday. After dinner, everybody wanted to go to the casino and shit. I said, no. We went to Applebee's. I had a quarter of a chicken breast, went back to the hotel room with Jenna. I was asleep by 7 o'clock, and I didn't wake up until 10 o'clock the next morning.
Boy, I'm going to say unequivocally, there's no way you were feeling right if you passed on casino time.
Well, that's just it. I mean, because you know better. You
I
I'm
know.
going to go to a
Mhm.
goddamn casino.
Mhm.
Okay. And I've been trying to eat, and it's like I'm afraid to eat anything, but I have to eat something because then you got the diabetes on the other side going, no, you got to eat, and then your stomach going, no, you can't eat. So,
So you're going to go
it's
see a gastroenterologist?
Wednesday morning at 11:15.
Wow.
They said, we have some appointments coming up at the end of March, and I said, I feel I'll be dead by then. Could you do better?
Are you going to get a scope down the throat?
I think this is the consultation where hopefully they'll prescribe me some pills, some good acid pills, and see if they work. And then
Omeprazole?
eventually, I'm sure they're going to shove something up my asshole.
Yeah, but they'll probably go down your throat too.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. And they probably need to go up my throat before they go up my asshole, even though I shit all the time.
Yes,
But whatever they can do to get in my stomach to see what this, I was told it was a peptic ulcer, but that was by my general guy, not by an actual gastro. So we'll see.
yeah, that's going to be the throat, man. You're going to get the endoscope, the thing.
And
I've had them both in one day before. When I had the bleeding, the thing where I near died from vomit from blood in my stomach, and it's nothing to fuck around with. I've had that twice.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna fuck with it. I mean, I'm tired of it. And if you listen to all these fucking PI commercials that are on the radio, this is every classic sign of fucking stomach cancer. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, now let's not get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
Dr. Roth.
I'm just telling you, it's every classic sign.
I have a friend. Well, I had a friend who died of stomach cancer. It's fucking gruesome.
Yeah, and I'd prefer not to go out that way.
Yeah, you want to get that checked early. No fucking around anymore, brother.
And the rabeprazole is something that everybody's telling me to get. RABEPRAZOLE, whatever the fuck that is. I mean, it could be the shit Anne Frank took. I have no fucking idea, but somebody wants me to take it, and I'm like, well, all right.
Is that for the acid?
It's for the acid, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So I take something for that. It's called omeprazole.
Okay, and that's like Nexium, basically, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, except it's a prescription, so you're not paying fucking $40 for 12 pills.
Well, I mean, I think it's 48 pills for like $25 for the same thing that I'm on, and it's just, I take one a day, and listen, mostly it works. Most of the time it works. Was it the red sauce? Was it the acid that aggravated me? What was it? The blowjob from the Korean boy? I have no idea, but something definitely aggravated me.
I've never had a problem. The blowjobs and Korean boys have never really bothered me that much, so it's probably the red sauce.
Well, how many blowjobs from Korean boys have you had, Wally? That's the actual question.
Oh, I'm a giver. I'm not a taker.
Good boy. So, so that's my drama for the week.
Oh,
I hope they figure it out fast for you so that you can eat.
Well, me too. And I'm lucky I can talk right now, because this morning I woke up to voice track. I couldn't even talk. It ruffled my throat enough over the weekend that I couldn't talk. So
that vomiting
hopefully
not easy on the throat.
All right, so
get to playing radio tomorrow.
Get the throat coat tea.
The what?
Throat coat tea. Throat coat.
That sounds like something that would come out of your fucking root juice.
No, throat coat tea is
back to the blowjobs from Korean boys.
Right. Well, that's how you say that name in Korean. Throat coat. That's his name. Throat coat.
God. Good God. How racist can we be? You're going to tell us how you name the Chinese children too.
I remember those old jokes. They were terrible then. They're still terrible today.
Remember that old joke? Yeah. They're awful. Yeah. You can't say that shit out loud.
I do.
Not at all. Unless you're Don Rickles. That's about it.
Right. But I'm not Don Rickles. and I don't hang out with them.
So Jesse, how was CRS?
CRS was really good. I had a good time.
Shit.
Yeah.
And what about
what
that?
happened?
What about the anus? What about the bad guy? The guy who's a jerk you were telling us about?
Oh, the angry screaming man?
Yeah.
So every year at Country Radio Seminar, each day of the event, one of the labels puts on lunch. And every year, Universal Music Group puts their lunch on at the historic Ryman Auditorium. And so you go in and you get a box lunch and you go sit in your seat, and they bring out, it comes out to generally close to 20 artists, and each artist comes out and sings one song. And it could be anybody from a new artist that you don't know anything about yet to Keith Urban or Vince Gill or, somebody who's a big deal. And then at the end of the event, they hand out these posters called Hatch show prints. It's a specific style of poster that comes from here in Nashville with these block letters. And I have a whole bunch of these because I've been going to these shows since they started. And I just happened to need to replace some frames because the frames that I had broke when I moved last year. And so I ordered one extra frame knowing I was going to get a Hatch show print this year, and I would need a frame to put these up in my guest room. Mm-hmm. And I went out the door that was closest to me when the show was over, and they were not handing out the posters, the door where I went out. So we walked around the building and we could see people coming out that had the posters in their hands. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to slide in, go in as far as where the posters are being handed out and grab one. And there's this employee of the Ryman who's standing there. He's got a trash bag in his hand because he's like collecting people's trash on their way out. And he's screaming, "No re-entry! No re-entry!" And the first time he said it, I stopped moving.
My wife says that a lot.
The first time he said it, I stopped moving. I was no longer trying to push my way in. I was, however, still looking in the doors where everybody was coming out, trying to see if there was anybody I know who would grab a poster for me that I could say, "Hey, could you grab one for me?" But he is screaming. He is looking directly at me and continues to scream over and over and over again, "No re-entry," until I finally made eye contact with him and said, "I can hear you." And then he said, "Then turn your ass around and go."
Then that's when you should have said, "I thought you said no rear entry. Why am I turning my ass around?"
I just looked at him and said, "You're an angry little man." And then stood there for another probably full minute just to be a spiteful bitch and continued facing into the building to see if there was anybody I knew who could grab me a poster. And then when I realized there just wasn't anybody I knew coming out of the building, I left without one. And I ended up getting one. Somebody else had grabbed an extra one and I managed to get one. So it worked out.
Man, serious security at the Ryman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they're lucky they don't get a firmly worded email from me.
But that guy, okay, first he's kind of doing his job, right? But
sure.
But
I was not being a dick, so there was no reason for him to be a dick.
And this is sort of I'm going to put this in the same category that when COVID first started, and they all the stores had people at the doors, no mask, you couldn't go in. It suddenly became the powerless suddenly have power. Mm-hmm. And they wield they wield it with no common sense whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am assuming that this guy probably has that hateful job and has to deal with drunken fucking tourists on a regular basis.
Right.
But again, I stopped moving. The first time he said it, I stopped. I was still facing the wrong direction because I was still trying to get this one-of-a-kind thing that I couldn't get anywhere else.
Right, that on some in 20 years from now, you'll be on Antiques Roadshow selling the whole lot.
Maybe
for $100,000.
Yeah, but I was not being a dick until he continued to be a dick.
I wish you would have said. I wish you would have been. You should have said something like, "Do you know who I am? I'm a presenter here. Here's my placard."
I'm on a panel, sir. I don't think you understand.
I'm on a goddamn. Here she is. She's got her letter out right now, and look, what is this? Okay, it's Dear John Ryman and Company. I would like to talk to you about an angry little man, and he made me sad. Go sit on a tack. Signed, Jess Wright again.
Well, I was in.
Am I good?
Yeah, it was close.
I was in the Lowe's today, picking up some stuff in the Lowe's, and Lowe's for the last couple of months, they have had nobody at registers. It's only self-checkout.
Ugh, just like Kroger.
And just like Home Depot too. And so I'm in the self-checkout, and a guy comes up and he's got 2 items. And the first thing he says to the guy who's the attendant is, "What the fuck, dude? How come there's no registers open? I might as well just go to Walmart."
Come on, that guy doesn't give a shit.
And the guy who's the checkout guy, he's a gimpy guy. He's an older guy. He used to be a Walmart greeter more than likely, right?
Probably making minimum wage.
Right. He's got fucking no control. What do you think? This guy is fucking collecting a quarterly bonus off your fucking self-checkout, you fucking numbnut?
I would love to see one of those guys go, "Oh no, you're going to Walmart. Oh no."
Yeah. But he's swearing at the guy, and it gets so bad. The guy starts giving him, "Yeah, why don't we go outside in my truck?" And then he starts giving him his home address. "Yeah, how about after work you come to my house? Here's my address."
Here's my address. Why don't you come over so we can fuck?
I was like, "Are you fuck? What is going on here?" So then the manager comes over, and the manager
I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to make you a nice chicken dinner over at my house with side dishes, and then we're going to fuck.
We're going to have
That's what's going to happen. And do not re-enter, God damn it.
Well, he tries to swing on the guy. Now, the guy who's doing it is in his 60s. He starts calling him old man. Hello, I'm 60. And he's clearly a veteran. And he's clearly a veteran because he's wearing his...
The guy who's being an asshole is the veteran?
No.
Oh.
The guy who's the worker.
Okay.
The guy who was the asshole could have been a veteran too.
He was wearing his "I saw things and stuff in Vietnam" shirt.
Yeah, well, he had a pin on that the veteran employees wear.
That's enough.
They'll wear their veteran vest or something that Lowe's gives them. But it's just such bullshit. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Listen, I hate fucking self-checkout. But I'm not going to
yell at some minimum wage ancient employee who doesn't have any
I don't invite a guy over for a chicken dinner and an ass fuck. Like,
why did it have to be in the ass?
Well, I'm not sure. It was 2 men. I was going to assume there's an ass fuck.
But you assume shit, man. See, that's your problem in 2024, Wally. You cannot assume. Okay? You can't assume anything.
You got to fuck him in the ear. You're right.
We're going to be canceled in about 5.5 minutes. You know that?
Listen, if we haven't been canceled yet,
it's a surprise.
It's a surprise, first of all.
But it was fucking
cha-cha-cha.
This guy is threatening a Lowe's employee, I don't know, a $14 an hour fucking Lowe's employee for, because somehow he has to wait for 4 other people to check out and get his he had a weed whacker. Like, what a cock.
Yeah.
What a cock.
That's stupid.
More from me. I've been invited back for a 3rd interview.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you how your second round of interviews went.
Yeah, it went fine, but
how many interviews are there?
I don't know, but I'm going for the 3rd one, and the second one was exactly what we thought it'd be. There were 4. There were 5 people total. There were, but only 4 did the interviewing, and 2 of them were on the big screen, and 2 of them were in the room. Oh no, excuse me, 3 were in the room. There was 5. Yeah, 3. But they did a round robin questioning. They all had the same paper, and they each asked the next question in line. Like, really? I mean, listen, I want the gig and yada, 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 but how fucking butthurt do people get that we need to do this kind of interviewing so everybody feels like they're part of the process?
I hope that you get the job, Wally, so I can get a DJ jingle made that just goes, "Woke Wally."
I don't. You want me to get Dave Steele to voice it?
I just don't fucking get it.
Woke Wally.
You got, but I do not endorse this kind of interviewing. I do not endorse this sort of everybody has to be included. It needs to be an inclusive interview. Why?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
I don't know why.
Call Dave Steele.
And
Woke Wally and the Cheese Wits.
Is that like Josie and the Pussycats?
Yes, that is exactly what this is like.
I am not by any stretch in that woke category. Do not put me in that woke. Those fucking people are nutty. They're just nutty.
You don't say.
Huh, no kidding.
Yeah. They're fucking just nutty. The asleep people are nuts and the woke people are nuts. I don't
you
know.
covered all your bases.
Yeah, well, it's you can't say you can't say whatever you can say. But anyway, so I have the next interview, and
when is it?
The questions were what you'd expect. What would you do in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
What accomplishment did you have in your former life, in your former work experience?
Well, I was there for the start of Jess Wright's career. I'm sure that was the first thing that you said.
You know what? You came up.
Nuh-uh.
Not by name, but by I talked about you and a couple of other people I said who just, for me, the thing that I enjoy the most or that I consider an accomplishment is when people I have worked with succeed.
Okay.
And for me, that's a positive. It's not about, because I never made a ton of money in radio.
Well, no.
So it wasn't about achieving.
You didn't? Wait. Oh God. I thought it was just me.
It wasn't about achieving, great radio numbers. It's never that. It's always about, man, when you see people, when I look at you, Bill Millman, Dem Jones, people I have worked with, Shannon,
Mm-hmm.
that I have worked with, that I think that I may have helped them progress. I know I helped Bill progress in his career.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I gave you some tools, or you walked away with some tools. I know people walked away with tools. So I say, that's the accomplishment. It's not the other bullshit.
And I appreciate the way that you worded that, because I dated a radio guy for like 7 years. And he was a morning guy, and he was really, really, really full of himself. And years later, after we had broken up and he was married, and I won an ACM award for Personality of the Year, for some reason we were talking. I think I had to call him for a job. I don't remember. We were talking, and he said, "That wasn't you, right?" And I said, "Yeah, that was me." And he said, "Huh. Well, I mean, I did teach you everything you know."
Oh, what an asshole.
Right. So I appreciate you saying, perhaps I gave you some tools.
Yeah, well, I think that's all you do is you give people tools. What you do with them is fucking up to you.
Yeah.
Some people took those tools and went, well, it's useless.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
some people took those tools and said, you know what, I prefer making money, but not me. Not me.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, same. Like, so for me, Ken Barlow is the guy where I got a lot of my tools from. My toolbox is filled with tools I get from him.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Ken Barlow. Jesus. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
He's such a good man.
He is. I mean, my friend, Jess Rodriguez worked for him down in Key West for a couple of years.
Huh.
Yeah, well, that's what he moved. He doesn't live in. He was in Key West, but I think he was sick of his house getting blown down by a hurricane.
Well, they sold all the stations too. They got rid of everything.
Yeah, and all the Florida stuff, right?
Everything, everywhere, from what I could see. I thought the company dissolved.
Oh, they got rid of the Burlington, Vermont stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was Vox, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire now.
Yeah, he doesn't need the cash. He's fine.
Oh, fuck no. No, but now remember, he started out as a night jock on WAQY, Springfield, Mass.
It's wacky
102. He was doing road shows. He did my fucking dance when I was in high school. He would come to my high school and dance. I listened to him when I was a kid. I've known him for fucking ever, since I'm 15 years old.
Now I saw at CRS, I saw RJ Jordan, who was Rick Pendleton.
Yeah. I see RJ online a lot.
Yeah, I ran into him, and I've told you this before that I used to call the request line when he was on the air when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And that as soon as I figured out that we now both work in the same industry, every time I see him, I tell somebody that I used to request songs from RJ when I was a teenager because it makes him seem so much older than me. So
I never worked with him, I don't think.
I was about to go to breakfast with one of his coworkers, and he said, wait, I got to go find RJ. And so I was like, oh, let me walk over with you. And so as we got like 10 feet away from RJ, I said to his coworker, I said, ask RJ if he remembers how I used to call and request songs from him when I was a teenager. And RJ, he said it, and RJ goes, damn it, every time.
So he's another one of those guys, a good guy.
Yeah.
Right. There are a lot of people that come from that, particularly that part of the radio world, that New York, upstate New York area, who are fucking decent people who worked in radio. They all worked for assholes along the way. And I think that might be part of it.
Yeah.
Because they worked for fucking some horrible people along the way. I don't know though. When he was in Watertown, it might have been okay, but that's where, when he was in Watertown, I think Shannon was working with him in Watertown when I hired her away.
Oh, okay.
I think she was in, I think she came from Watertown. So that must be
where he went from Cortland.
I think so. I think he was up in Watertown, and I think he was working with Shannon, but I'm not for sure. Or Kelly. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Kelly. You want to hear something funny? That when she first reached out to me, I had fucking no idea who Kelly was. So, the fuck is Kelly? I never, ever, in the time we worked together, ever called her Kelly. Ever.
No.
And then when I said, oh, it's fucking Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
But then I didn't want to be disrespectful, so I call her Kelly.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. I mean, there are people who I probably don't know their real names, or some of them had not referred to them by their real name in forever, because they go by their radio name almost always.
Yeah.
Which is a little narcissistic, if you ask me.
I don't know, because I don't think that there's almost anybody in this town that knows that my legal name is not Jess, right?
Well, yeah, but you use your real first name.
I do use my real first name, but nobody knows what my last name is. And even my Facebook friends don't know what my last name is.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
No.
So your last name, as we all know it, is right? I mean, that's
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if anybody wanted to know how do you get to your home or something, if they wanted to look at the 100% people true search online with ginseng thing, they could look for Jess.
Yeah.
And be able to find you.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as they can figure out how to spell that. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know that I ever, I think so. I think that later on in my career, I only ever used my first name.
Mm.
And so I never had I mean, in the beginning I had Andy Gallagher and Wally Wilcox.
Yeah. And
then I just used Wally. That was it. After that, I never used the last name at all. Never. It wasn't necessary.
Hey everybody, it's Wally and Fuck Job in the morning. How you doing? Everybody?
Hey, fuck Job would have been Jess. Now stop that.
That is true. Good job, Fuck Job.
Thanks. I changed my name a couple years after that.
Well, what did you guys use on the air together?
Chris and Jess, or Jess and Chris, because she was the lead, not me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With Jess and I don't know that I was the lead. I opened the mic first, but I think Jess talked more than me because she was taking all the chances she could get to smack me in the head.
I did not talk. No, you still set it up for me.
Yeah,
to say stuff.
I did, but
I was for sure. I was more sidekick. I know that you didn't look at it that way, but I was more sidekick.
Yeah, maybe. But not in a traditional sidekick way where I would make a joke and you would laugh at it.
No, I did not laugh at your jokes.
That was definitely not the kind of sidekick you were.
No.
You were not you were there to totally take part in what was going on, but you definitely did not laugh at everything I
So
said.
you weren't the Robin Quivers.
Oh,
I was
no way.
not. No.
No,
You weren't
absolutely,
the
absolutely not. No, no, no.
And Howard could say anything and she'd laugh.
Oh,
And it just,
absolutely.
I never understood that, Robin, there's, let me tell you this joke about the colored guy. Oh, Howard. It's like, but how does he get away with that shit?
I haven't
How?
listened. I haven't listened in probably 6 months to the show. But one of the things I've walked away with is I don't find her to be very bright.
No.
She
I
does
used to
not-
have a thing for her, but not really now. No.
No, I don't find her to be very engaged or engaged in life. She seems to be very isolated from life, and when she talks about her life, it sounds like she's a shut-in more than Howard's a shut-in. She just sounds like she watches a lot of Netflix and doesn't get out much and orders everything. And that might be part of being wealthy. She doesn't have to go anywhere.
And it might be part of being famous and uncomfortable with people coming up to you and
maybe
thinking that they can say things to you or that they can touch you or whatever.
God, you know what? I couldn't imagine people wanting to touch. I fucking could not stand it if people wanted to touch me.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, no, I would not go for that.
Yeah.
So I can't hug you?
Oh, I'm a hugger for sure. But if I didn't know who you were, like I'm not going to be walking around. Like, I don't want people to walk up to me if I'm in the grocery, come up behind me and put their hand on my shoulder and go, hey.
No.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well,
I don't want that.
Mm-mm.
I do not want that kind of attention.
when you're any kind of famous, people think that you belong to them and they can do whatever they want.
And you know what? You don't have to be famous. You just have to be small town famous.
Yeah,
is famous.
That's why I said any kind of famous,
Yeah,
because
you're
I
right.
mean, it would happen to me in Frederick, Maryland, where people would come up to me in restaurants or grocery stores or whatever, and they would want to hug me and tell me their whole life story. And I mean, and I'm like, listen, I appreciate you listening, but go away now. Like, go.
Well,
I don't
I think there's a classic mistake people make, and they make this. So this is part of the reason also that I am sort of I'm sort of an anti-iconoclast, because people are just people, just a different gig, and they're just playing a role. So when we're on the radio, and when most people are on the radio, they're playing a role.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing a person. Mm-hmm. It's not really who they are.
I've always said Jess Wright is an exaggerated version of me. Jess Wright is a much more outgoing version of me. So because
I think you're bitchier than Jess Wright.
I am bitchier than Jess Wright, because Jess Wright has to be nice to people.
Right.
Jess Wright was never nice to me. What the fuck?
You didn't count.
What the fuck is it? You know what our job interview consisted of, Wally?
What's that?
I never even met the fucking woman. Okay, I get a call over the phone. So you want to work here? I'm like, yeah. All right, come on up Saturday. Okay.
That was
there. You go. That was my interview with her. She heard the tape, and that was it. And I got to tell you, it wasn't that good of a fucking tape, Jess.
Well, I think
you didn't hear the other tapes I got.
Oh, that is true.
So the interview that I think the interview Jess had to come and do mornings was, I called Jess, maybe.
Well, you knew me though from
right.
Cortland.
I knew you, but I didn't know you that much.
No, but you knew what I did on the air.
Yeah, you read news.
Yeah, but also I gave Joey shit.
Yeah, you did give Joey shit for the little while that he was there before I said goodbye, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, hey, Jess, you want to come do mornings? I think that was the whole conversation. Hey, Jess, do you want to come do mornings in Rome, New York? And it'll hit the Syracuse market. And Jess went, how much does it pay? And I said, I'm sure I said, maybe not as much as you make now.
No,
I don't know.
It was more.
Maybe a little more.
Just a smidge more.
It couldn't have been much more.
No.
But yeah, she took it. Yeah. And I've never given anybody long interviews.
No, me either.
Fucking bunches of people. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I find it to be a little hokey, but I can't say it, I don't want to say it about my possible new employers, but Yeah, I think it's so indicative of what has happened to people in their little I want to be part of it, don't exclude me. It's like, fucking, I'll tell you what, sometimes it's great to be excluded.
I would rather be excluded more often than not.
I'm with you there. You just fucking look right past me, goddammit. Keep walking.
What? You're canceling our plans tonight? Oh no.
Oh shit. You mean,
Oh, that's a shame.
I'm gonna have to stay home and have another fucking little thing of ice cream and watch another Netflix show? Shit.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, because
I'm so
Jody's going
sorry.
away this weekend.
Oh,
Jody's
yeah.
going to New Hampshire. She's going to a craft fair. She knitted a bunch of hats.
Oh,
Knitted
wow.
and crocheted a bunch of hats, and her friend has a table, so she's gonna go and be a support of her friend and bring a bunch of hats with her. And boy, I'm telling you, I can't wait to sit my fucking ass on the couch for the whole fucking day and do nothing. Nothing.
I'm
Sound
going to
like
do
my
that in your
Saturday
honor.
night.
Huh?
I'm going to do the same thing in your honor.
Go right a goddamn head.
Solidarity with Wally.
Yeah. Fucking, I'm gonna just sit right there. Hey, Chris, when is your appointment?
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday if you want to take me.
Oh, it's this in 2 days, Wednesday?
Yes, correct.
Well, good goddamn luck.
Thank you.
Good goddamn luck.
So we
Thank
had
you.
some drama here in the neighborhood. You guys want to hear about it?
I love.
Please.
You know what? You live in drama-filled neighborhood. Go ahead.
Well, so you know about Rose.
No arm Rose.
Rose is the one who had her arms ripped off by her son's pit bull and then reattached, right?
Goddamn.
So it was last Monday because it was a really warm day. And I'm sitting here in my office and I hear Rose's dog barking, which is nothing new. And usually what happens is
Worried about Rose's arms again.
when her little dog starts to bark, then one of my dogs loses her shit and starts to bark, and I can't get any work done. And so I'm trying to work with my dog on not barking when she hears other dogs bark. And so I was working on that, and her dog is barking and barking and barking and barking. And then I hear her screaming. I hear Rose screaming.
What?
And I jump up and run over to the window to see what's going on. And I see the pit bull puppy from across the street has gotten out of his yard. He's a puppy. I mean, he's a puppy, but he's 50 pounds at least. He's a chunky little boy, and he wants to play, and he's jumping on Rose.
Oh,
Armless Rose.
Yes.
Rose is having a Vietnam flashback.
Seriously, she's screaming for help. I went running out there, no shoes on, run across the yard. The puppy, I'm then coming up too aggressively toward the puppy and he wants to run away from me. And then he's like, oh, we're playing. And I finally get him to come to me and I'm holding him by the collar and he's trying to wiggle out of his collar. And I'm yelling to Keith across the street to come get his dog, but he's not hearing me. So I'm trying to call him and the call isn't going through. So I basically stood there in her yard with this puppy on his back, rubbing his belly and playing with him until she could get herself into her car and get the door closed.
Damn.
And I drag the puppy. I get the puppy to follow me across the street and I ring the doorbell and Keith comes out and I was like, you know about Rose's thing with pit bulls, right? He says, no.
Oh, God.
I was like, well, you must be the only one she hasn't shouted this story from her porch to. And I told him what was going on. And he was like, oh, man, I do not know how he's getting out. And I said, he's probably jumping your fence. No, he's too little. He can't jump that fence. I said, I promise you he can. I've had 2 pit bulls who could jump that fence. And that's why my fence is a whole lot taller than yours. And so as we're standing there talking, Rose drives across the street, rolls down her window, and apologizes for being scared of his dog.
Oh.
Can I ask the question?
Yes.
How did she roll down her window?
Chris, she has had her arms reattached.
Oh, I thought you were in a situation like Wally's sister where she was going to fucking dance a jig or something.
No, she didn't
You
have
know.
chicken wings.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, she's
Yeah.
not like with a straw and a thing on.
I mean, she can't do. There's a lot of stuff she can't do because her hands don't work as well as they did before the attack. But she
Right.
can drive a car and she can push the button to roll down the window.
Yeah, Chris, Chris is talking like she types with her head.
Well, she was steering with her nose. And
Look,
then,
if people want, they want to go ahead and they want to fucking find Jess. All they got to do is look for the woman with the last name of next to Mrs. Stephen Hawking. Okay. And they'll be fine.
So why do women, it's funny. I heard a little thing about this say, why do women find it necessary to apologize for shit like that?
I feel
what is this apology? People in general say fucking I'm sorry way too much.
But women do it. You're right. Women do it more often than not. And part of it, I think, is because until recently, we've always been told that we can't be too assertive and we can't be too anything. We can't like ourselves too much. We can't, and so I actually have a friend who a couple of years ago, when she was in town raising money for St. Jude with me, she used to say, she still does sometimes, but not as much as she did because I beat it out of her. She used to say sorry just for no reason all the time. Like, sorry, I have a random question. Sorry. Just sorry for no reason at all. And finally, she did it so much this one weekend that I looked at her. We were sitting at a bar and I said, tell you what, from now on, every time you say sorry when you have done nothing to apologize for, I'm going to make you donate $5 to St. Jude.
Oh, yeah. You told us this.
And she laughed. And then a few minutes later said sorry for no reason. And I held my hand out and she put $5 in my hand. And I went, oh, that worked.
I don't, so part of this is where I get myself in trouble sometimes because I don't live in the world where I think that's what women are supposed to do. So when I call bullshit on that.
Because I'm not sorry.
Huh? What's that?
Because I'm not sorry.
No, but that's, I don't live in that world where I think women are supposed to say sorry or blah, all kinds of things, which I don't live in that woke world, Chris. But I just don't live in that world. So when I call bullshit on that kind of stuff, people say, oh, you're so insensitive. No, I just don't fucking live that line. I don't live in that fucking lane.
I didn't think you lived in that lane.
Where I think women are fucking supposed to say, I'm sorry, or fucking people.
You know what's interesting? After the panel that I did at CRS last week, the first person to come up and tell me that I did a great job was this woman that I used to work for, who I respect her so much. And she's pretty well respected in the country radio industry. And she just went on and on and on about how great I did and how interesting it was. And then I saw her again and she was showering more praise on me. And she said, and you were up there and you didn't say and and you didn't apologize. And I said, because I'm not sorry.
Yeah. What? They're just, if as soon as you say, I'm sorry, if you're giving a presentation like you were giving, as soon as you say I'm sorry, it takes away any credibility you have in what you're saying. It says that, I'm not firm behind this conviction.
I'm sorry if you don't like what I'm about to say, but I'm about to say this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry that I have to say this thing.
Yeah. It takes away your credibility and it doesn't sound like you're saying it with conviction. You're just saying it because it sounds good.
But that's also why every once in a while, Wally, you'll say, I'm sorry, but blah, 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 blah. And I know you're doing it just as a figure of speech, but that's why often I'll also go, I don't think you are.
No, I'm not. I'm not. However, that being said, sometimes it seems like you need to say that because there are people who might hit you or get so, and not you. I don't think you're going to hit me. And if you were going to hit me, what the fuck? I know you're not going to fucking travel from Tennessee to Maine to hit me. You'd have to be pretty goddamn mad.
You're lucky. I'm pretty lazy.
You'd have to pay. You'd pay somebody though. I believe you'd do that. I believe you might call somebody on the Jess hotline and say it's just.
Yeah, you're actually kind of lucky. I don't know people in Maine.
Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people know people in Maine. They don't want to know people in Maine. they just are not not liking. They just don't want to know people that. By the way, it was 53 degrees here today.
I'm in shorts. It's 70 here.
Yeah, it's
It's
75
fucking
here.
ridiculously warm.
Yeah.
But over the week it was 20. But it's just fucking ridiculously warm. We have almost no snow outside. It's crazy.
Yeah, we have almost no snow too.
And we're expecting 3 days of rain. Fantastic.
I don't think Wally got that, Jess. You want to repeat that?
I don't think so either.
Oh, what'd you say? I'm sorry. What did you say?
That was like, that's like Wally sitting down on an airplane and the stewardess says, "Have a good flight." And you're like, "You too."
Oh, well, I did not hear you. But speaking of that, have you ever hung up the phone with somebody? It's just like just a random call. You're making a phone call to the bank and you just say, "Okay, love you, bye."
No.
Yep. I
have done that.
No, I told a teller I wanted to fuck him. I mean, it happens. And sometimes, I figure $50 is $50, and who better to get money from than some sort of twink at a bank, right?
Oh, at least you're getting paid for your service.
Exactly. Give me $50, you little sprite. Come over
here.
You
used to do it for free down in DC, so at least you're getting paid. You've moved up. I'm liking that.
I finally am. There was a time that I couldn't get my dick sucked in Kevin Spacey's living room, but now everything's fine.
Very nice.
There's your promo for the week.
Good reference.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Kevin Spacey reference. Very, very nice.
Thank you. I'm glad to help.
What did you say that you've never said something that, so just because it's most of the people I talk to in my life are my wife, grandkids, children, and the phone calls almost always end with, "Okay, love you, bye." Okay, love you, bye.
No, in fact, I don't say that to very many people at all.
That surprises me, Jess.
Does it? Are you shocked, Wally? Do you need to sit down?
I'm not just shocked. I'm gobsmacked. I'm having to go across the pond. That's how shocked I am. No, you don't. But who do you talk to regularly? Who's your regular conversations with?
My best friends, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like most of my conversations
you guys?
with family. Yeah. Well, you don't talk much then, do you?
No.
You talk to us once a week.
Who wants to talk? Not me.
Yeah. Me. Well, you know who does. Me. I will.
You fucking do.
I love to fucking talk. I really do. I fucking
Chris,
love.
are you okay with this shocking information? You feeling all right?
I'm gonna go touch myself. I'll be back.
Okay.
I do. I love to talk, and I will talk about. So during my interview, I had to, in my head, tell myself to shut up because they ask. So the point, it's such a classic interview technique to ask open-ended questions. I mean, it's just classic. So I put myself on a mental timer as to not allow myself to get sucked into the trap. And I did rather well at the whole interview from start to finish was about 35 minutes.
Okay.
And there was 4 people who asked 3 rounds of questions. It was 3 rounds of questions, or 12 questions. I was able to get those through, and they were able to give me the primer and then asked me if I had any questions. And I asked no. Do you guys ask questions when they ask you that?
Yeah.
I did not ask any questions.
I do feel like if you ask good questions of them, that has the potential to impress them.
Well, I didn't. And this is what I said. I said, well, I went to the website and I read, the mission statement, and I read about the organization. So I pretty much, I understand. And I've worked with their organization before while in radio, because they've been around a long time. They're just growing. And they've expanded. They used to do just housing for people in Portland and teens who are unhoused. I don't even know what word. I think unhoused is the word now.
Unhoused. Is that's what they're calling it?
Yeah, I think they call it unhoused now. I mean,
jeez.
It's so hard to tell, man. The
Wow.
vernacular for shit changes so quickly because I think unhoused people don't like to be called homeless people, or homeless people don't like to be called homeless. They'd rather be say because it's such a negative connotation. I mean, it's just really hard to keep up.
I'm between homes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That gives a. And by the way, one of the people who the initial interview person had her pronouns on her business card.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know. And
yet you lived through it. Are you okay?
Well, no. I because here's my concern. What if they ask me what my pronouns are?
Do you not know what your pronouns are?
Or where where I sit with that sort of philosophy. And I don't have a philosophy. I'm just like, well, if you're a he, you're a he. If you're a him, you're a her, you're whatever.
They say that when people are doing job interviews now, and bosses are going through resumes and they see somebody list their pronouns down at the bottom,
yeah,
they tend to just throw them the fuck away. They push them to the side because they know they're going to be a pain in the fucking ass.
That's how I would feel too. I would be concerned that that's a person who's going to be who's going to constantly be challenging the hierarchy, constantly challenging the I'm not going to work, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that, or you expect me to do it because of this or this. Yeah, I think they will be. They'll challenge you at every step.
Oh no, challenges.
No, you don't want to fucking be challenged every fucking step. Come on, Jess, you've been a boss, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to challenge every fucking thing. What do you mean I got to come in fucking 10 minutes early? Like, well, because I want you to actually be on the air when it's time to go on the air, or whatever it is you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's those fuckers who come in, and back in the day, they come in and they figure, oh, I start work at 6. So I got there at 6, but I had to get my coffee. I had to smoke a 10-minute cigarette.
But see, I didn't challenge you at all on that. I just showed up at 6:45 and said, "Sup?"
It's 6:40. You never showed up at 6:45.
Really? You never called me on the air after the show started to see if I was going to be joining anybody?
Well, yeah, okay. But normally you would be there at 5:45.
And this is why I didn't do mornings again after that.
You should have.
No, I did mornings and afternoons instead, like a normal, reasonable human being.
Okay, I'll buy in. I'll buy into it. You're right.
Being awake that early in the morning is
you didn't
terrible.
You didn't challenge in that way. You didn't challenge I'm on high ground.
This makes sense now, Jess. This is why Tom and fucking Dave got away with what they did, because you never heard their fucking show.
That's true.
You were never awake for it.
That's true.
Were they terrible?
Yes.
I mean, they both had their individual merits as being good, except for one of them. But
except for one of them.
But but together, it was the sound a loud fart would make in the middle of Beethoven playing his first.
Listen,
in front of a crowd.
I got them a talent coach. And
Tommy Kramer?
Yes. And
yeah, good fucking job there, Toots.
They
Jesus
refused
Christ.
to do a single thing he said. A single thing. To the point where I actually had to sit one of them down and say, at this point, it either feels like you think you know better or you are incapable of doing the things that he is asking you to do.
So what does a talent coach do in radio? What do they do?
Basically just air checks them every week and says, okay, here's what we're going to work on this week to get better and get back to basics. And I mean, really, all he was teaching them was basics. He wasn't even, it was essentially air checking better than I could air check.
So with these okay. So so here's what I'm taking away from that. These were old guys who couldn't stand a woman being in charge and wouldn't listen to a woman.
I don't know
one
if
of them was a reasonably young guy and couldn't stand it.
Well, neither one of them was young.
Well, I mean, but one was younger than the other.
Oh, I mean, they were both quite a bit older than me.
They're both senior
That's
citizens. That's true.
always that's a hard. It's always a hard place to be if you're either substantially older or substantially younger than the people you're trying to lord over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is.
I think I just felt like they were so bad that I did not have the skills to even get them to moderately good. They had learned so many bad habits, and I was so overwhelmed with how many bad habits I mean, I've told you about the time that they were like on the air, like, so what does Twitter do? Do you look at it on your phone? Like, they would, it was two old guys talking about fucking old guy things while we're trying to attract a 25 to 54, essentially a 35-year-old woman to listen to the station. And they were so bad that I didn't think I had the skills to get them to where they were even okay.
So you're really up against it then too, because I firmly believe that women are social network capable head and shoulders above men.
Mm-hmm.
That they use it much more. So if you're a fucking guy, you got to put in the extra work. Now, me personally, I don't use that shit. However, if I were on the air, I'd know all about it.
Yeah.
I'd go out of my way to learn and use, and because I understand the role it plays in the overall.
Hey, Wally, how is
picture.
our Twitter account? How's that
What's
doing?
that?
I said, how is our Twitter account doing?
Yeah, Wally.
I don't ever use our Twitter account.
No fooling.
It's X. I know it's X, you guys. Shut up. I'm the one that called you and said it was X.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about what's actually happening with it.
I don't think anything. Is anything happening with it? Have you done something?
No, you were in charge of it.
Oh, I posted a few things and that was it. I haven't posted
You did
anything
your
in
30
months.
days of dick pics or whatever it was, and then called it a day.
Nothing. And then nothing. I just fuck it.
Okay.
I gave it up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that anybody's using it.
Somebody is.
Yeah, well, somebody's using it, but I think most people use it in a newsy way.
Yeah.
More than they use it in a I don't know what the new shit is that people use. I think it's Snapchat, right? Or not new, but what do people go to now? What are the youths using for that kind of shit?
I would assume it's TikTok until us old fuckers take that over like we did with Facebook.
Yeah, the TikTok.
The ticking talk.
They'll go to the but there's got to be new ones coming. There's got to be that you and I have no idea.
Does anybody actually use Threads yet?
I got on it once for something for the thing and stuff.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't looked at it since.
Why bother?
So part of it is I think we're fucking just deluged with information.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need yet another fucking avenue of bullshit? It really, there's so much bullshit on those TikToks and Snappy Chats and Facebook-a-rooney and all of those fucking things. It's just crap after crap after crap after crap. Like, okay, enough of the crap.
This is funny.
Rooney.
Facebook offered me the opportunity. I think I mentioned this last week, to earn money with my business page.
Yeah.
And it was like bonuses for however many views I got. And then as soon as I was like, yeah, sign me up for that. Let's see how much money I can earn. In February, I earned $8.
Okay.
Because once you sign up for that, they suppress your views.
They do?
Yes, they do. Uh-huh.
How do they do that?
Well, the same way you know how when you only see the same 5 or 6 people in your Facebook news feed, even though you follow 1,000 people, it's like that. They just decide not to show your shit as often. Yeah,
I really have just given up on using that shit just because it's fucking just full of vitriol. It's all vitriolic bullshit, and I just can't. Just fucking. You post a picture of anything like I will post a picture of food and someone's got something horrible to say about it.
Somebody would be like, well, the Trumpers wouldn't eat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fucking that and they're just.
In fact, Chris, I feel like I see that from your friends a lot on comments on your stuff.
Like what? The Trumpers wouldn't do a certain thing?
That you will post something about bowling and somebody will try to fucking make it political.
Well, yeah, they always do.
Yeah.
They always do. And it's the same fucking people every goddamn time.
Come on, I posted a nice thing about your on your bowling.
Yes, Wally, you did. I can't remember what the fuck it was, but you did.
It was a picture of the cut off toe.
Oh, that's right.
When you were having the problem with the person next to you, so I sent you a big Lebowski toe pic.
So this fucking cocksucker, old man, okay, and so there's common bowling courtesy, especially when you're bowling in a tournament, that if you're up on, let's say, lane 14, you don't walk up on lane 13 or 15 while I'm in the process of throwing my ball.
Even I know that.
Well, I'm trying to get this spare, and I was really weak. I couldn't do what I was normally do. And I'm trying to knock down this spare, and I throw the fucking ball. And as I'm releasing the ball, I feel something weird. And I let go of the ball. The ball goes sideways, and standing next to me is fucking Father Time. And I'm like, what? But he was doing this to everybody. So I think you both know me well enough that I don't like to cause a scene. And
of course not.
But sometimes my switch flips a little bit. And I went to the tournament director and I said, listen, if this cocksucker here walks up on me one more fucking time, he's getting a ball to his fucking ankle. And she said, okay, we'll take care of it. We'll take it. And I mean, no, he kept doing it all day because the unteachable are the unteachable.
So he was doing it intentionally to fuck with you.
What he needed was a talent coach, Jess.
That's exactly right. If he had Tommy Kramer there, he could have told him to fuck off too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he needed. I thought the funniest post under that, Chris, was you posted it and you said something about his ankle. And then one of your pals wrote something like, I would politely approach. I was like, is this somebody Chris knows?
Oh, yes. I know every, let me go look at the fucking thing now. But I mean, I know everybody that's on there for the most part.
There was some sort of politely say something that this can't be somebody Chris knows.
And I wanted to say,
this is a bystander.
Politely suck my dick is what I wanted to say. Let me see. What is this here? Dude is walking up. That's poor form and unacceptable. I must have misunderstood. Do a softball pitch. I hate when that happened. Is he throwing grandma style? Oh, no, etiquette. Way to show patience instead of going right for his ankle. Let's see. And somebody says, why don't you put his dick between your balls? The knee is a larger target to hit. Say something politely but firmly. Well, that's Leo. Leo's one of the he's well, I call him a masshole. Okay.
But then the next thing he says is next step pimp slap.
Right. And then that would yeah. And then the finger came. So
then he was suddenly in some sort of weird haze and then said, oh wait, we're talking about Chris.
Yes, exactly. I think you finally realized what the fuck was going on there.
Yeah, and I gave you the big Lebowski.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't bowl that often, but I do know you don't walk up on people.
No, that's been a rule of bowling, I think, since bowling was invented.
Well, it's like playing basketball, so that was my sport. When someone's taking foul shots, you can't step right up next to them.
That's exactly right.
Want to get punched in the head.
You want to look at people and be like, you know what? I will fuck you up if you do this to me. Okay. Yeah. I don't care if you're 75 years old. That means you know the courtesy better than anybody else.
Yep.
I will fuck your ass.
Well,
okay.
Was he differently abled, Chris?
No, not at all. He looked like fucking Father Time. I'm serious.
He wasn't fighting dementia.
No, not at all. Not at all. You see, Bruce Willis's wife came out and said, "Don't put things on online that say that my husband's life is over because of blah, blah, blah. And she said she clicked on some clickbait and got pissed off with that whole thing that Bruce is suffering from. You see that?
Mm-mm.
Just crazy.
What does he have?
What is it? Aphasia?
I think it's aphasia. Yeah. Aphasia.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think he, I mean, I don't know anything about it other than I guess he has some fading memory and speech is a little difficult at times and yada, yada, yada. But I don't think it means you're completely out of it. You don't, I don't think you think you're a gumball. I think you realize, you're human and you have your mind works and you're able to convey. I think you have moments of, just you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly.
But the other thing is, so this is the difficult part, right? He is a celebrity and they're trying to continue to keep him in the eye. So you got to expect people are going to fight. There's assholes who are going to attack because they get off on that shit. And they think they become self-important by throwing bombs at the helpless or who they perceive to be helpless. And man, that's a double-edged sword right there. You on the one hand, you want to get information across and say, hey, Bruce is fine. We appreciate all your support. Maybe here, learn some more shit about this. And then on the other hand, fucking people want to just attack you for fucking being human.
But then you also have these websites, the parody news websites that do not make it super clear that they're parody sometimes.
Yeah, they're not even parody, some of those.
And the satire and they don't even make it super clear that it's satire, and they say something that's just it could be true, and or even like your TMZ that puts shit out there that isn't 100% true.
The Onion is the only one you for sure know is satire.
Yeah. The other ones, you have to go, is this a joke?
There's a couple Christian ones, or they're very conservative with a Christian undertone, and they make some fucking heinous sort of comparisons and fake news.
Yeah, and then you're like, is this a joke or is this Tennessee? Oh, it's Tennessee. Okay.
They hide behind it saying it's humor and satire.
Yeah.
When really it's just fucking
100% hate.
Yeah, that's right. I lost the words for a second, but yeah, that's what it is. It's 100% fucking hate.
Speaking of Tennessee, I did not read the full article, but I read the headline and somebody bitching about it. And then I didn't have time to go back and read it. But apparently they're trying to push through a new law that you cannot buy cold beer.
What?
Because that would encourage you to drink and drive. And also,
okay,
they're talking about doing this thing like they do in Texas where they track if you're drinking in bars, they'll scan your driver's license and track how much you were served at each bar.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. What?
So now people who reach the legal drinking age, there's going to be a new market for fake licenses.
Yep.
So you can pass a fake license on.
But they don't want you to buy cold beer because that would encourage you to drink and drive.
Well, and here's the fucking great thing about that too. The great thing, these are states that are very conservative, less government states, but they want the fucking government to control your beer drinking and where you're drinking and how much.
And who you marry and how you dress and what you do with your body.
They don't want less government. They want more government, but they want it to be on their terms.
Right.
It's fucking retarded. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that word. No, I should. It just means it's not fucking in the norm. It's fucking ridiculous. Is that better? Is that a better R word?
Uh-huh.
It's ridiculous. Redonkulous. No, it is. And how about Texas? So here's the funny thing about Texas has some huge wildfires right now, right?
Yeah.
And remember when California was having their wildfires, Ted Cruz was mocking California. Donald Trump was mocking oh, well, they had bad forest management. And I'm sure Donald Trump didn't say forest management. I'm not sure he could put those two words together.
I'm sure there's some very fine people in California.
Absolutely. And they didn't rake their leaves and all that. And then there was also a state senator in Texas, and now they're boohooing about their fires. Well, they're fucking so good. Ultra conservatives are so good at fucking jabbing and hate speech against others until it happens to them. Then all of a sudden, hey, this is serious shit, everybody.
Yeah, and the same people that have been crying about their freedom when somebody wants them to put a piece of cloth over their face during a pandemic, then want to take freedom away from everybody else.
Hey, look, those are my rights. Those are my rights to breathe in what I choose to breathe in. I'm American, and Trump 2024.
I saw somebody driving today that I thought was a terrorist. Not really, but they're driving towards me, sunglasses, a mask that covered so much of their fucking face, like a hospital mask, not like not like a burqa covering or something, or a Muslim face covering, a mask. I'm like, you're fucking driving in a car alone. Are you kidding me? You're still wearing a mask.
I always wonder if that's like an Uber driver or something, because they're going to have people like strangers in their car. Because I can't figure out why else you would wear a mask when you're driving by yourself.
Because you're stupid.
You throw that word around. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Nope.
What were you going to do?
Not today. Argue with you. I'm not going to do it. Nope.
Listen, Jess, I'm just saying, if you're in your car by yourself, you don't need to wear a mask.
Okay.
Come on. What's it to argue? I wouldn't argue with you about that.
Mm-hmm.
This is Wally and his typical right-wing bullshit.
Yep.
Oh, no, I'm right-wing.
Yeah, I are today.
I'm amused by people who wear masks when they're by themselves. If you want to wear a mask when you're out in public, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? But in your car by yourself, for real? That seems overkill. Don't you think?
Somebody asked somebody, I don't remember where it was, but they're wearing a mask, right?
You're not sucking me into another argument, motherfucker.
Somebody says, listen, the mask thing, do you masturbate with your mask? And the guy's like, no, I usually use my hand.
Very nice, Chris. Very nice. Yeah, well, that was one of the things at my interview. I thought that maybe people would wear a mask. Nobody wore a mask. Everybody was they sat.
So they're not that woke then.
A group table.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't get the impression anybody was woke. I didn't get that impression. I think it was the pronouns. I think it was a placating thing more than it was anything. I think it was a trying to be on the right side of something, or even I think sometimes some people will put themselves in a position because they have to put themselves in a position because they're surrounded by people who have a certain sort of belief or a certain sort of direction they go. So in order to fit into that group, they have to sort of go along with some of it in the office space, but in their personal life, they're completely different. I think. I don't know. That would be my guess. Because I wouldn't be walking around saying bad stuff about anybody if I was working that job. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, but he was born a man. I'm going to call him a him. I'm going to call you whatever the fuck you want to be called. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
It's the Wally show. It's the Wally show, and Jess and I are like, yeah.
No, I know Jess agrees with that. She calls people whatever they want to be called. She doesn't argue with that.
No, I sure don't.
No, I don't care if you want. I might not call you a goat.
Why not?
But, yeah. I don't know. That'd be kind of weird, don't you think? No, I think it doesn't. I think it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. So
Wally, look, I am not the brightest guy when it comes to women.
Oh, I know that.
But I'm just looking at Jess here, and her lack of verbs, nouns, or pronouns at this point is actually beginning to be disturbing because she, look at that face.
What do you think Jess uses?
No, I know. I'm sure that Jess is a she, her. Pretty sure that's a she, her.
Yeah, Jess is definitely a sheer.
A sheer.
A what?
A what?
A who?
What's a shear?
On first.
You
Who's
guys.
on second?
You guys.
What's
Jess?
on first?
You guys.
Jess?
Is it time to go?
Jess is on first.
I have more work to do today. So,
What do you have to do? It's after 5.
well, it's only 4 here. And
I've got to go feed.
I
I've got to
didn't
go feed
basically
horses.
I basically didn't do any work for half of last week because I was at CRS, and so I have to catch up on the work that I
So you
missed.
have to do work now.
I was hoping you had a story about that one guy too. The one guy who gave your friend shit the last year, said bad stuff about her or something.
Oh, he didn't come to our panel. So I actually didn't. If he was there at all, I don't know. I didn't see him.
Well, I would like to hear more about your panel next week.
Okay.
As would I.
Okay.
I would like to hear more about it because I have a keen interest, Jess.
Okay. Well,
Well,
you know where
hey,
to
listen,
find me.
I'm going to go take a shit.
I don't
hope
call you
all,
much. I don't call you anymore because I do call you, but I whenever I call Jess, I know that I'm bugging her.
Well,
Not
no, but
always.
also a lot of times when you call me about stuff, it's like, what are you doing? Save this for the
I
show.
know. You know why? Because my fucking
dear.
memory is failing. When something hits me,
Have you
it's fucking
forgotten
fresh.
how to use the notes on your phone?
No, I did take some notes.
Gail,
No, I did take
Gail,
some
listen.
notes. I've got all right. Shut the fuck up.
All right.
I hope your appointment goes well Wednesday. Good luck, Chris.
Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
let you know. I'll see you all
Yeah,
later.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. Ciao, bello, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Jody.